Ruben Gallego is under scrutiny for being best friends with Eric Swalwell. Now, apparently, they spent a lot of time together and they did a whole lot of things together, and there are photos and videos that show that. Some of them are questionable, but he's having this press conference, to let everyone know he didn't know anything about Swalwell's behavior and he didn't do any of these things that Swalwell was doing. They did a lot together, but none of this stuff. So we're going to go through this press conference almost sentence by sentence so you'll know exactly what's going on from a body language and behavior perspective. Let's take a look.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I call this today because there's just a lot of rumors going around.
Right out of the gate, we see this thing has been rehearsed. How do we know that? Because watch how he says, and looks away.
I call this today because there's just a lot of rumors going around.
He does that because he's trying to remember what his first line is he's supposed to say.
I call this today because there's just a lot of rumors going around.
And following that, he's going to set this thing up with the problem and everything involved with it.
About me, about my family. And, unfortunately, this is not the first time. I had to deal with the same BS in 2024 and 2023 when they ran millions and millions of dollars of smears against me, lied about my family.
He talks about his family and how they're under attack and how he's under attack and he's not going to put up with it. And it's all these people in the government that are doing it to him. Everybody in politics doesn't like him because they tried to do it to him before and now they're trying to do it to him again.
And it's the same damn people again. Carrie Lake, Chris LaCivita, bunch of political operatives. They couldn't do in 2024, trying to do again in 2026.
And he's supposed to be angry. We don't see any anger here. We see fake anger. How do we know? Because we don't see the classic signs of anger. We see him trying to do what he thinks you think anger looks like. He's got his arms crossed. He's frowning some. Watch how fast that frown goes away. And it's not just frowning that lets you know someone's angry. If someone just frowns at you and they're talking mean to you, no big deal. They look like they're mad, but they're not. How do we know when they're really mad? Because when they frown, their eyes open a little bit wider like that. That's why I look like a psychopath. A lot of people get really mad. So look for that. It's not going to be in here anywhere.
About me, about my family. And, unfortunately, this is not the first time.
Another thing we're going to pay attention to is his voice tone, volume, and his cadence, how fast he's talking.
When they ran millions and millions of dollars of smears against me, lied about my family.
And when he's talking fast, how loud he's talking, and when he's talking loud, and the tone of his voice. Does it stay the same? Does the volume stay the same?
When they ran millions and millions of dollars of smears against me, lied about me.
He's talking about the same thing over and over, and you're going to see that throughout this interview.
So I want to make a couple of things very clear. Number one, Eric Swalwell lied to all of us.
This guy lied to all of us, not just me. He lied to you too and everybody else.
He lied to the most powerful people in this country. And they trusted him. They trusted him with some of the most sensitive spots.
And the most powerful people in the country believed it. So it's not just me believing it and you believe in it.
In our government, whether it was on Judiciary Committee, Intel Committee, impeaching Donald Trump.
He's trying to make a big deal about that. Impeaching Donald Trump, he's using an illustrator. We talk about illustrators on here all the time. So as you know, illustrators are the way your brain emphasizes specific words and phrases. Like I did just then, specific words and phrases. And when those things are off or they're not timed right or they start happening when you're not talking, something's up. That lets us know there's inner dialogue going on up there. He's structuring his sentences. He's trying to remember what he's supposed to say next.
And that clouded my judgment, my friendship with him.
And he's such a good liar. You can't blame me for believing his lies, even though we were best friends and hung out all the time.
My friendship with him, our family's friendship together with him, clouded my judgment. And I was wrong. I deeply, deeply regret that.
Listen to those odd pauses between his sentences.
Eric Swalwell lied to all of us. He lied to the most powerful people in this country. And they trusted him. They trusted him with some of the most sensitive spots.
He's thinking about what he's going to say. He remembers what he's supposed to say. And then he remembers, I got to look angry while I'm doing this. That's why you feel weird about seeing this.
And that clouded my judgment, my friendship with him, our family's friendship together with him, clouded my judgment. And I was wrong. I deeply, deeply regret that.
And nobody talks like that. When's the last time you heard anybody say, I deeply, deeply regret that? You haven't, because nobody talks like that.
But to be clear again, I also had no knowledge of predatory behavior, sexual assault, or harassment.
There's some body language you can learn from. I had no knowledge. What's up, man? There's a predatory behavior. He looks away almost like he's ducking that accusation.
I also had no knowledge of predatory behavior, sexual assault, or harassment.
I swear, this is going to be some of the most horrible lying you've ever seen.
Of predatory behavior, sexual assault, or harassment.
Now, one thing we see a lot of here is eye blocking. And we block our eyes when we hear something we don't like, we're presented with information we don't want to hear, or we see something obviously we don't like. Here, he closes his eyes. Now, a lot of times people use their hands to block their eyes, but that there is a classic. You just close your eyes too long. The important part is the words he's closing his eyes and eye blocking on. Every one of those.
Of predatory behavior, sexual assault, or harassment. And unfortunately, right now, the same people that are attacking me in 2024 are using this horrible situation that's been thrown upon these women, thrown upon Eric Swalwell's family.
He got ahead of himself a little bit there. When he said Eric Swalwell's family, he had to think about it.
Thrown upon Eric Swalwell's family and using this as an excuse to politically attack me, lie about me, and lie about my family. I will not take that lightly. So with that, I'll gladly take any questions because we're here. I'm not going to let the same thing forget.
There it is, fading facts.
I'm not going to let the same thing forget.
When we're saying something we know we shouldn't be saying, we may be being deceptive. When we're saying that, our brain says, hey, man, you shouldn't be saying that. So it gets quieter and quieter as you go along. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little. But this isn't too bad here because up to this point, his voice has been pretty solid, his voice tone and volume.
A couple days ago, how did you not know about the allegations? So considering you chaired his presidential campaign, wouldn't some of this have come up? Some of those allegations predated when he ran for office.
This guy's about to freak out. He's so nervous. Watch how low, how deep his nods go. This is comical.
Again, this man led a double life. He lied to us. He lied to his family, lied to his constituents. Some of the most powerful people in this country. Even before he ran, he was trusted with some positions that normally we would never think someone like this could do if they're leading that double life.
He's not answering that question.
And again, I was manipulated. I was lied to, and everyone else was too.
Listen to what he's saying. He's not answering the question.
And again, I was manipulated. I was lied to, and everyone else was too.
He knows he's supposed to say that because he's breaking up as he's saying. He's trying to remember that. That's why he's closing his eyes at that point. He's eye blocking because he doesn't want to say it, but at the same time, he's trying to remember that sentence and structure it so it comes out normally. It doesn't work.
Would you release any text messages you had with Eric Swalwell to prove your innocence here?
Anybody that asks, or any legal proceedings that need it, will get whatever they want. Without a doubt.
You'll release all your arguments.
Yeah, any legal proceedings, the ethics interviews, or if there's a subpoenas or anything else, legal proceedings, anything else. If you get sued, we'll release everything without.
I just want to understand.
The head comes down with a confirmation nod when he's saying, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But then when he starts asking about whether he's going to release those texts or not, his head starts shaking no. Now, what does that tell us? That lets us know he's thought about this answer. That's for dang sure, because he knows that one's going to come up. Because there are texts out there he went back and forth with Swalwell on.
All your arguments.
Yeah, any legal proceedings, the ethics interviews, or if there's a subpoenas or anything else, legal proceedings, anything else. If you get sued, we'll release everything without.
I just want to understand.
And if I was a betting man, I bet those things are nasty.
All your arguments.
Yeah, any legal proceedings, the ethics interviews, or if there's a subpoenas or anything else, legal proceedings. Anything else? If you get sued, we'll release everything without.
I just want to understand.
That's a perfect example of illustrators not landing when they should and happening when they shouldn't. He's closing his eyes and his hand is coming down like that. Watch how it's not timed right.
All your arguments.
Yeah, any legal proceedings, the ethics interviews, or if there's a subpoenas or anything else, legal proceedings. Anything else? If you get sued, we'll release everything without.
I just want to understand.
Now he's saying those texts will be let go. He's going to show them with no problem whatsoever. Now listen to this.
Yeah, any legal proceedings, the ethics interviews, or if there's a subpoenas or anything else, legal proceedings.
How many times can you say legal proceedings in one short sentence? That tells us he's not going to let those things go until the court makes him.
Yeah, any legal proceedings, the ethics interviews, or if there's a subpoenas or anything else, legal proceedings.
And what does that tell me and you? This guy's full of shit.
So it was just drop out, not is this true, is this not true?
I told him to drop out. He denied everything. I told him, You have to drop out. We'll start taking back.
That's pitiful. Look at his illustrators.
I told him to drop out. He denied everything. I told him, you have to drop out.
Bless his heart, I almost feel sorry for him. That's so bad.
There was a video online that surfaced of Eric Swalwell making out with a woman sitting next to someone. Was that you sitting next to him?
This is an example of the lies. No, I was not sitting next to him. I was not in the room. I was nowhere. I don't even know where it happened.
He's trying to wipe that question away. He didn't even know where that happened.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Chris LaCivita and a bunch of other right-wing political operatives are pushing this narrative that somehow I was in that room with Eric Swalwell, and that is an absolute lie.
Then he goes back to the same people getting after him again as somebody else just saying all this stuff. See, it's all them. It's not me. I didn't do anything, man. It's these people saying I did because they hate me.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Chris LaCivita and a bunch of other right-wing political operatives are pushing this narrative that somehow I was in that room with Eric Swalwell, and that is an absolute lie.
Well, let's take a look at that video and see what we think. Ooh.
Congressman, you have future political ambitions. How can people trust you to run for higher office if you didn't know that your best friend was engaging in even inappropriate behavior?
Nothing says I'm not in charge here and I'm not in control more than you pointing to someone for them to ask a question, but somebody else starts asking a question and you keep your finger up and you go start listening to the other person. Oof.
Congressman, you have future political ambitions. How can people trust you to run for higher office if you didn't know that your best friend was engaging in even inappropriate behavior?
But I messed up. I'm human. I trusted this man. I trusted him to watch my children. I would watch his children. He knew that I had just gone through the most bruising campaign where I was accused of being a mule for the cartel, where my kids were subjected to TV commercials about what an awful human being I was. He knew how to prey on that. And I was a loyal friend to someone that just was not loyal to me.
The interesting thing here is that when he talks, almost every word has that head illustrating. Who else did that? Eric Swalwell. People who hang out together, they act like each other. They like the same things. They do the same things. They have the same interests. And they start matching and mirroring each other. And those things stick. That's how close these guys were. We've seen Eric Swalwell defending himself. And now as we see Ruben Gallego defending himself, they're doing the same thing. They're doing all that number there with every word they're saying. Their body comes forward. Their head comes forward.
He knew that I had just gone through the most bruising campaign where I was accused of being a mule for the cartel, where my kids were subjected to TV commercials about what an awful human being I was. He knew how to prey on that. And I was a loyal friend to someone that just was not loyal to me.
So he's back to Eric Swalwell is just a horrible guy.
When you first heard these rumors, should you have acted when you first heard these rumors several years ago?
The rumors I heard were that he was just a flirty social guy. That's it. And when he was married and when we were together as families working together, I fell on the fallback that this is not the man that I'm hearing about.
Again, he's not answering this question.
This is not the, when you're out with a man, when he is, taking his kids to baseball games, when you see them together, you start creating in your head, like, that's not the person you and again.
Here we see his shoulders come up a little bit. He's getting a little bit quieter here and he's stuttering a whole lot.
This is not the, when you're out with a man.
He wasn't ready for this one. He didn't rehearse this one.
I was lied to, and, it clouded my judgment. Our friendship clouded our judgment. Every time we went out to dinner, every time our families were together, we would literally.
This is what it looks like when you're lying and you get cornered.
Pick our kids up from schools, from practice together. Like, this is not something that just happens overnight.
He can't get a handle on this one, so he has to go back to talking about how he was lied to and what a bad guy Swalwell is.
And again, I was lied to, and, it clouded my judgment. Our friendship clouded our judgment.
Yeah, he can't get a handle on that answer. It's just getting away from him there.
When you heard the rumors, was it people coming to you in hopes that you would talk to Swalwell about it? Or was it just...
No. It was just like...
A lot of people think when your arms are crossed, that means you're not interested. You don't want to hear about this. You're bored. Not here. He's actually self-soothing as he's doing that. He's almost hugging himself. And that's an adapter. That's the way we get rid of that built up stress and tension.
It's just like, sorry, it's like Washington, D.C. There's just rumors all the time. They're just floating all the time.
He's trying to say, I don't know, but his hands go up. He doesn't know what to say. That's what he doesn't know, because he's not rehearsed this part, because he wasn't ready for it.
Wasn't anybody saying like, hey, I need you to go talk to this person because I know you guys are friends?
And listen to his sentence structure.
And then also that is, I think that when it rises to that, that is some certain things, certainly some that I would do and other people would do too.
Really short words, a lot of uhs, a lot of no's, a lot of shaking his head. No, this isn't right. This isn't right.
But it was never that.
Senator,
He's in panic mode, and he keeps bringing his hands together. He's getting his shoulders and his arms as close together as he possibly can because he's uncomfortable. He's trying to self-soothe. You can also see that being used as a barrier. In other words, putting anything between you and the other person. He's having problems getting out of this one too.
But it was never that.
Senator,
Now he's in full-blown panic because watch what happens when he says it was never that. When he says that, his whole body turns. His head turns a little bit. His whole body starts turning, and he's pointing. He's just doing this number here. He can't get a handle on this thing. He's so far up in his head thinking about what's going on, he can't answer the question. He can't structure his answer correctly.
But it was never that.
Senator,
This is what it looks like when he gets away from the person lying to you.
you've gone on trips, on vacations, officially, unofficially. You've gone out, presumably with the congressman. You've never even witnessed him, I don't know, engaging in an affair.
No.
Never.
What about
No.
Up to this point, he's been extremely verbose. He's been talking a whole lot, but not with this question. He uses one word, no. And when she tries to ask again, he shuts her down and says no really loudly.
No.
Never.
what about
No.
Now, if this had been one person asking him questions, that's where you zero in right there, because you can bust that one wide open.
instances of you guys drinking heavily, going out, partying? Did you do any of that with him?
Look, we socialized. We went out.
If your teenager came home and you said, have you been drinking? And they said, oh, we've been socializing. We went out. We've been socializing.
But I never saw him engage in any of the predatory behavior, harassment, sexual assault, or even like.
Here we are, predatory behavior, harassment, and sexual assault. He shuts down again here. He doesn't like that at all. I really don't have a good feeling about this, that he's telling the truth here. I really don't. I'm telling you, if there was one spot in the whole thing, if somebody said, why do you think he's not being honest? This would be the spot right here. He's completely shut down, and he's actually almost imploded. He's trying to crawl inside himself, it looks like. He's getting so tight. He's not even looking at the camera. He's not looking at that person asking the question. Nothing. He's shutting down right there. He knows something. And I think we both know what it is.
Like anything that I would say would rise to the occasion that I would be able to, not talk to his wife the next day and be able to look her in the eye. So
he's talking about looking this guy's wife in the eyes, and his eyes are closed. We eye block when we hear something we don't like, we are presented with something we don't like, or we're saying something we don't like.
Senator, why wait for the subpoena or to be forced legally to release those text messages? Why don't just do it now, especially since you've called for transparency surrounding Epstein?
We're back to the texts. Women always ask the best questions.
look, we have a lot of communications with people. I know for a fact, 100%.
Really? No, we're listening. Go on. We're listening.
But, there's nothing here to hide, and just exposing more and more is only going to ask more and more and carry this lies even further.
I know you said you feel.
That's
I
what-
know you said you feel.
last one.
Again, he's turtling. That means his head's going down. His shoulders are coming together. He doesn't know what he's going to say. He wasn't ready for this.
And, if we are told, we will comply with anybody else. But, there's nothing here to hide, and just exposing more and more is only going to ask more and more and carry this lies even further.
I know you said you feel.
That's
I
what-
know you said you
last
feel.
one.
This is a guy who has no control whatsoever of that press conference. He doesn't look like a leader. He doesn't look like he's the guy in charge. He doesn't look like the guy you'd want to pull your car around when you finish eating at the restaurant.
But, there's nothing here to hide, and just exposing more and more is only going to ask more and more and carry this lies even further.
I know you said you feel.
That's what-
I know you said you
last
feel.
one.
So there you have it. Ruben Gallego during his press conference got out of hand a little bit there. All right, if you have any questions about body language, just email me. bodylanguagequestions@gmail.com, and I'll get right on it.